Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner. Biggest gob in sport. You know that, don't you? We say the things on here that nobody else dare say. Dare say. Dare say. But we'll crack on today. And we'll bring you some interesting content today. Right, here we go. Big John Fury, big fighting man. In the ring or on the hard ground. Pop, pop, bang. MI5 are watching me from the moon. 140 kilo deadlifts with me Corey. Cold. How's about that? Eat and live off the land. We've heard it all, haven't we now? We've had 8 years of it next month. Not had a fight yet. And what we've got them coming out now saying, yeah, we're going to fight Ngannou, but Muhammad Ali fought a wrestler in 1976. Wait, 1976? Ali had been a pro 16 years then, hadn't he? Olympic gold. He then turned pro and he beat Olympic golds and world champions of Floyd Patterson twice. Sonny Liston twice. Floyd Patterson was Olympic gold medalist, wasn't he? Were it Helsinki 1956? Well, he done him twice. He ended up winning a world title, didn't he, Patterson? Fraser twice. He was Olympic gold in 64. Ali was 1960, by the way. Foreman, 1968 gold. He done him. 1972. That were a Cuban guy, wasn't it? They don't turn pro, so didn't do him. But he did 1976 one. Leon Spinks. He fought him, beat him. He just fought everybody, didn't he, Ali? And then we've got Ali going and fighting that guy in 1976 when he were undisputed. He beat everybody. Rematched them who beat him. He was the man, the main big dog. And we've got Tyson Fury. He's beat Wilder, hasn't he? Vladimir. That's it. Is that it? Wilder and Vladimir. No. And Steve Cunningham, a cruiserweight, they were life and death. Two of them were life and death with Wilder, so that's not GOAT material, is it? It's never going to be GOAT material. Going to do views because he gets himself out there, doesn't he? Him and his dad in tow. They're pretty good at this PR. They get it, don't they? They get the media. They get it. Other people don't get it. They get it, but where's the wins? I mean, is it 2 years now? Getting on for 2 years since he fought Wilder for the third time. And when that 2-year anniversary is up, he's going to be ready to get in ring with a guy who's having his first boxing fight. The WBC belt's not on the line. No. So we don't have to say it's a title fight. It's a guy making his debut as a boxer. And he's fighting the heavyweight champion of the world. But there's no belt online. But you couldn't make this up. How this is a game changer, I don't know. They're all coming out. They've battened down their hatches and they're going for the money. Greed reaches inside you, doesn't it, Bricktop? Bricktop keeps going on about all these greedy people going out to Saudi and all that. Well, what's he doing? He's there with begging bowl. Because when Tyson leaves him, where's Bricktop going to go? He ain't got nobody, has he? He's clinging on for dear life. This is why, and we do this video because I can assure you, right, John Fury is a very, very determined man. He always gets his own way. But he's the kid's dad, and he's the champ's dad. If John Fury, big John Fury, don't want Bricktop around, his days are numbered. Bricktop will know that. They're coming to the business end now of his career. They're going to want as much money as they can. They're not going to want to share it with anybody. So I can see John Fury's point of view. But if it were me, and I had Bricktop's money and reputation, all that, I'd just say, go on then. Go on, be off with us. Let John deal with it. And let's see how far you get. That's what I'd do. I said, get gone. But that's probably spiting my own face, isn't it? Shooting myself in the foot. But you can't have interference officers in boxing, can you? I bet Brick Chop's pulling his hair out what he's got left. I would be if I had any hair. They can't seem to do it without Big John piping up. But I can see his point of view. Why should they have to share the spoils with that lot? But in boxing, you need them, don't you, to get on. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. But I did say a few years ago that lot will end up in court. But I believe that Bricktop's ship is sinking, and I believe that Big John will have something to do with it when it does sink for good. Just how I feel. But we're going to see, aren't we? But this Ngannou fight, it's got everybody's knickers in a twist. It's a joke, isn't it, really? It's an utter joke. The WBC rankings, if you go down them, they haven't been in touch with everybody in the top 15. It's rubbish. Frank Sanchez has 4. Mac Madoff's number 5. They take the fight in a heartbeat. I know Sanchez would. He's already said that. I don't know about the Russian, but he's about Tyson's age and he's maybe a bit green behind ears, but you're going to get paid millions. If you lose, they bring you back, don't they? But they're both undefeated. Tyson ain't calling them out. I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth, this Ngannou. We don't want to see that. We're talking about a man here who, in the last 2 years, hasn't fought anybody. And now, after October, when he fights this guy, he could be parked up for months and months after that. So what we're going to be getting into, like, are we going to be approaching, we're going into his 3rd year, and he's not, and he's had White, Chisora, and Ngannou. I mean, how much longer are they going to park this belt up? Can't keep doing that. It's not right for the sport. But they don't care, do they? They're just going to say, well, we don't care. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Because when they're gone out boxing, they won't care. They'll just laugh at the fans. In fact, when they've gone out of boxing, they'll be doing them evenings with, won't they? You know, all them goonies that go to them evenings with and believe everything that they say. That's what they'll do. They'll have that small group of people that'll keep turning up, won't they? And handing money over, hand over fist. The real boxing fans know it's a joke, don't they? We know this is wrong. Frank Warren, Bricktop, you know this is wrong. You, Frank. You know, Frank. What you're doing, Bricktop, with Tyson Fury's career is what you did with Joe Calzaghe's. It's all gaslighting, as that man Strikes Back says, and he's right. It's gaslighting. They talk a good game, but they don't deliver. Yeah, we're going to fight so and so, and over a period of the last 6 weeks, we've had 22 or 24 fighters that Tyson's called out of all that. But in January, they were going on about Ngannou, saying he's a tougher fight. Maybe they were planting the seed then. I don't know. Do I care? Yeah, of course I do, because they're killing it, aren't they? They're killing division. What are they going to do? Franchise champion them up, or not franchise? What do they call it? No, not interim, something like that, innit? Franchise champion. What? Who cares? Just free up the belt. Just vacate the belt, Tyson. Vacate it, and let everybody get on with the boxing, and then you just fight who you want, and then just come back when somebody's undisputed. Come back and fight them, can't you? Just park the belt up, because you're stopping the whole of boxing, Tyson Fury, having an undisputed champion. You. And if the WBC had any knackers about them, they'd strip you. But they're not going to do, because they're getting such big fees off it. It's about that. They're knee deep in it. So as far as I'm concerned, we ought to get rid of the WBC and just concentrate on the other belts. The WBC is not being used. It's not. It's like having a tyre fitting machine in your garage, isn't it? So I've got a tyre fitting machine. We're doing tyres, but you're not buying any tyres in stock. But your machine's still stood there 13 grand of doing no. It's like that, isn't it? The belt's doing no. So let's not count it. Let's move the IBF into top position as the main belt. What after that? The IBO. We can't say WBO and WBA, can we? Because how many of these organizations are any good? In my opinion, IBF and IBO, all the rest of them are not worth a carrot, are they? You know, the WBC's got the prestige, but it's corrupt, isn't it? It's a corrupt organisation. That's how I look at it. If that ain't corrupt, why aren't they sticking to their rules? The fighters are inactive. How long's Charlo not going to fight? They had Canelo under the 55 pound, and they're creating his own weight divisions. What are these people doing? It's a joke. But Fury and Garno, if it happens, is a joke. It wouldn't be a joke if the belt were, if it vacated or had been stripped. I wouldn't have a problem. I'd say, go on. But not while that belt's parked up. And not while Tyson Fury's putting videos out and laughing about it in everybody's face and bragging about money they're getting and who ain't getting and blah, blah, blah. Is his head gone or something? Why would you do that? What? How classless and shallow is that? Bragging about having the belt parked up and they're not stripping me. Well, do you think this is good, Tyson Fury? You not defending that belt? Because there's kids who dream about being WBC heavyweight champion at world. And while you're fighting non-boxers who are making boxing debuts and the belt's not on the line, it's no good because you only fight every 9 months. So that's no good at all. No good at all if you're only fighting nearly once a year. It's no good. How can that be good for the sport? It's a disgrace. And we've got all this gaslighting. What I want to know is, every time Tyson and his dad tell a whopper, and the massive whoppers, aren't they? Constant. Why don't we get them on TalkSport? Let's have Tyson Fury and John Fury on TalkSport. Let's have them cross-examined. Because Coogan and all these other outlets, Rob Tebbett, Parsons, whoever he is, I don't even know what he looks like him. He's hanging out at back of Eddie's G-spot in it. All that lot, all of them across the board. Umar, the lot of them, all of them. Is it Michelle Joy Phelps? She retired now. They've all had ample opportunity to see her. That's not right. Not one person pulls them up when they go on about this lineage, whatever they call it. Going back to John L. Sullivan. Tyson Fury's lineage doesn't go back to John L. Sullivan. It doesn't. It doesn't. It don't. There was a break in the link. Don't go back to John L. Sullivan. No. It don't. There's several breaks in the links. But nobody pulls them about. I could go on forever about their lies and rubbish. It's fear why nobody pulls them. Fear. Frightened to death. All you YouTubers or all you press people we access, the GAD, all the rest of them. There's only Adam Catterall, Wayne Knackers, and maybe Simon Jordan. Rest of them. Not one of them pulls them. Not one of them. Why is that? Are these journalists or cowards? Is that what they are? Why don't Jeff Powell, Bunsey, all that old brigade, Pat Sheenan, Matt Christie, all them, I like Matt Christie though. Why don't all them put it on these about this on Garner and what the lineage really is? Put it on them because they're running amok. We're not getting stripped. Is that good? Could you imagine it if Man City said, we're not going to defend Champions League, we don't fancy Real Madrid in first round. We'll wait and we'll have our first round match in a few months when we're ready. Could you imagine the riots in the street across Europe, wouldn't they, if they did that with football? So why should boxing fans put up with it? Why? We've got a heavyweight champion here who everybody says is the best in the world. He's not defending belts. He's got 1 belt. Usyk's got 5 belts. The only belt, or the only fight that matters in boxing is Usyk, Tyson Fury, 2 undefeated for the first time, but all the belts together, 6 belts on the line. Why can't they do it? Why? Why can't they give us it? Why do they have to drag it out for years and years and years, like Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather, and Kell Brook, Amir Khan? Why do we have to put up with that? Why should we put up with that? Why? Why ain't anybody putting it on these? There's only Adam Catterall stuck it on Bricktop. Gareth A. Davis, you're a coward. You're a little snivelling little posh boy. Coward. Spencer Oliver, you're a coward as well. Shit in your pants the other day. You were asked by Simon Jordan, Spencer Oliver. Spencer, who is the most overrated boxer in the UK? Oh, I don't know. I can't think of anybody. Can't think of anybody. But you could say loads of fighters who are underrated. But you won't say one who's overrated. Well, I'm going to give you one who's overrated here. Anthony Joshua. Why didn't you say that one? Why didn't you? Well, for the big hype he's had and for the £250 million in bank, he's beat Vladimir 18-month on settee after Fury took him to college, or university, should I say. 18-month on settee, pushing 42. That's his best win. So I'd say he's overrated, Spencer Oliver, wouldn't you? But you let Simon Jordan talk you into it, and you came out with something like, yeah, RBI were overrated. I didn't like his ring entrances. You didn't mention anything about RBI's skill level, did you? Two-time world heavyweight champion. So no, RBI's skill level's all right, but he was a bit cuckoo, wasn't he? So Spencer Oliver, you bottled that question, just like rest of the media. People need to ask you on your social media, Spencer Fearon, who's the most overrated boxer in the UK? Give an answer. Don't sit on the fence, because why are you sitting on the fence when you work for TalkSport, eh? You should be sacked. Sacked, because you're a shithouse who don't say what you really think. How are you any good to TalkSport, jug ears? How are you any good to TalkSport if you're going to go, oh, I don't know any boxers who are overrated in UK? How are you any good? And then you bottled it. Oh, well, I didn't like ABI's ring entrance. What is that? This is what I'm talking about, you media guys. No knackers. None. We all know about John Fury backstage at presses, don't we? Putting it on people and saying, you don't want to be asking me that and all that and blah, blah, blah. No, give me a press pass, I'll put it on a lot of them. Give me front row, I'll put it on lots of them. Don't bother me. What are they going to do? I've never seen so many insecure men in my life. Anthony Joshua slagging TalkSport off this week, hasn't he? Because he don't like people being critical of him. Anthony Joshua has been flogged several times now. He ain't got a belt. He's not in top 5. He's on slide. So it's no good having a go at everybody, is it? Anthony Joshua slagging Robert McCracken off to death. I've got Julian McGowan on tonight for 2 hours. 2 hours later tonight. I've got a script here. We're going to set boxing on fire tonight. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to do the business. Let me just say this. The biggest problem in boxing at the moment is the media. They're allowing these people to run amok. They're allowing promoters and fighters to dictate to fans. That's what they're doing. Well, we've got the champ parking the belt up, and his promoter thinks it's okay. Frank Sanchez, Makhmedov, ranked 4 and 5. Nobody would know him if they're walking down the street. Correct, Frank Warren Bricktop. Correct. But let me tell you this, old dinted. Nobody would know Ngannou if you walk down the street either. All right. And you used to slag Eddie Hearn for events, because you were hardcore boxing, weren't you, Frank? Now look at you. Soon change your tune, aren't you? Just like the rest. Hey? When Fury leaves you, Bricktop, I'm going to laugh my nuts off. Because it'll come. It'll come. Mick Hennessy meant a lot more to them than you. And look what happened with Mick. So who are you? All right? So get ready. Big John will sink you before long, Bricktop. And I hope he does. And I hope he trains Tyson, because that's what he wants. And I hope he does up matching and takes over his career. Because then you'll see what's happening, won't you? You'll see then what's happened to Tommy's career. He was going to win British titles, wasn't he, and that? He'll never fight in a boxing ring again in a boxing fight. He'll be fighting them whatever they're called, misfits or something. And that's where money is, isn't it? And you can't blame them, can you? But hey ho. So the boxing media, hang your heads in shame. You know who you are, the lot of you. Hang your heads in shame. Yeah, man in the mirror moment for the lot of you. None of you have got any knackers. You haven't got the knackers to ask a fat old man who's 50-odd-year-old. John, come on. That's a load of rubbish, John. Who's he going to fight? This is no good. One person said it except Adam Cattrall, and he put it on Frank Warren. But would any of them have the nuts to put it on Big John Fury? I would. I'd put it on him to his face. Somebody get me a press pass, and I'll go down to London, and I'll put it on him with a camera and a big microphone. You don't bother me, him. You'd never touch me, him, would you, John? Or I'd tell the real John Fury story now. We wouldn't want that, would we, Pop, Pop, Bang? Peace out.